I would like to get nice and cozy. Our thirst one. Get it? Thirst one. This one's by Mikoto. So, I cannot say the town's name. Wait, actually, hold on. The music is way too cheerful. Chat. Yeah, this is the right amount of spooky. This is what I wanted to do. So, I cannot say the town's name because I live there. But in Japan, in the town I live in, there is a haunted building. This building is so haunted, it has been marked to be torn down for the last 30 years. No one will enter the building because of how violent the spirits are inside of it. Students who go in there to tempt fate report being chased, scratched, and have objects thrown at them. Some of my students dared me to go. The thing is, this building is just beside mine. I went to the building at night one day. I could hear a voice saying in Japanese, call out, "Do not enter." And another voice said, "Stay out." Now, this could have been people, but this was at 3 a.m. No one was awake. There is no electricity in the building. Yet voices were calling out to me. However, one said, "Keep the woman away from us." And no one else was there. No one in my town knows about the ghost lady that follows me around. I think I had a real encounter and my ghost girlfriend is acting like a protective spirit. Okay, next one is from Brandon, who's a skeptic, and Brandon's story just reads, insert something suspicious. Brandon! One summer I lived in an abandoned school property owned by a fellow friend. I want these rich friends. Where can I make these friends? I want to stay at the abandoned school property. The building was originally built in the 1920s, but a portion burned down and was rebuilt. This school building was used until the mid-1950s, at which time it was then used as various other things such as a furniture manufacturing plant and a retail outlet for power equipment. I was staying in one of the classrooms for the summer on the first floor. During one hot summer night, I was half awake drifting off to sleep when the electricity cut out in the building, turning off a nearby fan, causing me to become fully awake. In the silence, we heard something large fall and crash in the classroom above us, with loud stomping footsteps moving away from the sound of the crash. Right after the crash, the power came back on. I made a sweep to the upper floor. A sweep off the upper floor where the sound originated from. But there was nothing to be found. My cat's going on a parade early in the morning. I made a sweep of the upper floor where the sound originated from, but there was nothing to be found. The only thing in the classroom above me was portable scaffolding, which was fully intact and not fallen over. We could not find any other evidence of someone being inside the building. Access to shut off power to the building was all the way across the building. We did not hear any footsteps moving outside of the handful directly after the crashing sound. I did contact my friend to see if this was an elaborate prank, but he was asleep at the time. I think staying at an abandoned school is scary enough as is. Next one is from Dr. Who Fangirl and it just says, Ghost. Boo. I was at work. It was 9:30 p.m. and I had taken the trash out. And I was out in the dark. I felt a man's hand grab my shoulder and push it down slightly. When I looked to my shoulder, I saw a male's hand at first. I thought it was a coworker or my male manager, and I went out loud, haha, very funny guys! And I had turned around to see who the hand belonged to, and there was no one there. Then I screamed, "Frick, hell no!" and ran back inside, slamming the door. Was the hand still there or did the hand disappear? You guys ready for one of Pante's stories? Pante's stories heckin' slap. Hi, I'm new here, Kuromiya. In my youth, I used to take any possible chance to wander the wilds or visit little and almost unknown places since humans? No thank you. Kuromiya exorcism. I can't recall all those trips clearly, of course, but a couple of them led me to live peculiar experiences, and I'm now about to tell you the tale of the shortest of them all. My destination was a little village, several hours of trains, and a short ride on a this is safe, right? Concerning level bus. I've chose that village in particular not for its history or architecture, nor for a couple of bizarre tales about the strange and/or inexplicable events occurred in the area, according to some fleeting words caught from some travelers' tales. Kuromiya loading. Can somebody type the emote in chat as I'm reading them? Because that's funny as heck. Who am I trying to deceive? Of course, I was there also for those tales. But I was also searching for some peace, and since an old friend just told me that a really beautiful meadow was hiding not too far from the residential area, who am I to decide to avoid this cluster of coincidences? Tired from the trip, I decided to reach the meadow on a wide path amidst the green. A barely perceivable breeze was bringing the sense of the ending season, and the sun was playing with the clouds, painting an ever-changing scenery on ground and hills. At a certain point, I've seen another human figure on the path, and being a fast walker, I was rapidly approaching to the figure. I decided to slow down a little, and while doing so, I've noticed that there was something off with that creature. I kept watching and began to hear that it was muttering something to itself. It was clearly nervous, agitated, and was showing several tics related to the head, arms, and shoulders. Is this a Silent Hill style story? Because this is terrifying. Head, arms, and shoulders. At that point, I was close enough to hear what it was saying. Leave me alone, please. Stop. Stop. With a long sigh, I prepared myself to react to a possible violent reaction and then sped up the pace to reach that troubled creature. Well, that was the plan, at least, because suddenly the creature broke up and from muttering to itself began to scream, "Leave me alone!" and started running, waving, helter-skelter its arms around. By the time I, surprised, ceased to advance, the creature turned to run to the roadside, and once reached it, a sudden burst of wind came out of nowhere. When I managed to open my eyes again, blinded by the dust raised by the wind... the creature had disappeared. For a few moments, everything fell silent. Or simply fell. No sense, no sounds, no movements. I stopped breathing unconsciously. A bubble frozen in time, or maybe outside time. Then a faint breeze lazily rose again, bringing a different scent from before. I hurried up to the spot where the creature disappeared, an instant before reaching the tall grass by the roadside, and stared around, searching for movements. The ears strained to capture any possible sound, but nothing. No traces left. Not even the footprints on the path remained. I smiled, squinted my eyes while staring at now fully clouded sky, and turned my back to the spot of occurrence. Then started walking my way back to the village, guessing that apparently that wasn't the right day to see that beautiful meadow. And before I go, I mentioned at the beginning about a couple of bizarre tales about events occurred in the area, according to some fleeting words caught from some travelers. Someone might be familiar with the concept or idea that I'm about to tell you and bring to the table. The weight that comes with it. Pretty sure that our sheep overlord has encountered this term before, but maybe it's my impression or my interpretation of tales of the events I witnessed. But Kamikakushi. What does that mean? God something? Okay, next one by Harold Sparrow Zero. I have two brothers, and the oldest by 3 years, Chris, and the other 1 year older than me, Jacob. In 2005, around 9 to 10 p.m., I was watching Chris play a GameCube game on a TV that sat on the floor against the wall next to the door leading out of the central room of the basement. We had lights off, as we normally did. Jacob wasn't with us in the room. He was upstairs in his own room at the time. I was content as a 9-year-old kid watching my brother play when I saw something out of the corner of my eye in the doorway. No further than 10 feet, roughly 3 meters. Thank you for translating to Europe sizes. Oh wait, suddenly I locked my eyes with what looked like a man with a pale face and a smile from ear to ear staring directly at me with his sunken eyes. Who is that? He was leaning into the doorway so I couldn't see his body, only his face. I froze for a minute as I stared back wide-eyed at him until I finally spoke up. Jacob? Jacob, is that you? No response. This got Chris's attention as well as he looked where I was and noticed the man as well. The man disappeared into the darkness seconds after. We hopped up from the couch on full alert at this point. I remember I was shaking, terrified. Chris grabbed a piece of wood or a bat from the closet and urged us to investigate further. I argued, but in hindsight, I don't think staying there in that room was a good idea either. Eventually, he convinced me that if someone was there, he would knock his redacted out. So following behind him, we ventured into the darkness. The man slipped into the thought of him possibly being around any corner, still frightening me. But we went through the basement, turning on every light and checking every corner. Nothing. We didn't hear the creaking of the wooden steps leading upstairs either. To this day, I don't know who or what I saw, but it still frightens me. I convinced myself it was all in my head for a long time, but neither of us ever mentioned it. until I brought it up a few months ago and my brother informed me that he too remembers that night, and it's the only instance that convinced him that the paranormal may exist. Has anyone in chat had a similar one to these? I remember somebody being in my house when I was very, very young. And it was not like we had guests over or anything like that, but this is very similar, where somebody was just standing in the hallway and then disappeared. My number one thought when I remembered this a few days ago was, oh my god, people accidentally... This is one of the things that I fear the most, I think, is somebody living in my house without me knowing about it. Like, pay you heckin' rent. But also, that's terrifying. Could you imagine? Our next story is by Mikoto, again. So, to start the story, I don't really believe in ghosts. But after all my experiences with the Supernatural TV series, I feel like I'm an expert. Not Supernatural, the TV show! I saw something and I'm unsure as to what it was. You see, I live and teach English in rural Japan. In my location, there are some real haunted buildings where you can hear voices inside when you're walking at night. No, I am not kidding. I will give more details about a lot of people died here historically. So everywhere you go, there's probably someone buried beneath you. Anyway, this isn't about that. It's scary as hell. What happened recently was I saw something during the day. At work, I work at an elementary school. So one day I was bored and decided to go for a walk around the school for exercise. I waved to the kids studying and poked my head into a few classrooms to see what's going on. It was a nice, relaxing day. No drama, no breakups, no sadness, just a good day. Until I walked by the room the students used to build their class projects. They were in there earlier during lunch break, prepping for the school event coming up. So I looked in, going to say hello to them and maybe help out. I hear a noise that sounds like a desk moving. So I poke my head in. No one is there. Rather, no one human. There was a black shadow of a child sitting at a desk. I thought maybe it was the lights since they were off. The curtains were closed so it was dim. Not black, but dim. Like the average VTuber. Brutal! Just like me for real. Anyway, the head of this child turned and looked at me. Instantly I knew this wasn't no living child. I saw clear as I see Lulu from her wall. You're in there? Please stop eating the wall crunches. It's so cold. I need the insulation. Glowing white eyes. I just nodded and closed the door. I went back later to check out that maybe I was just crazy and opened the door to walk in. No one, or rather, nothing was there. But the air was cold. The heating was on, windows were closed, but you could feel a draft, and I had strange goosebumps. Now I already have one ghost haunting me. A Japanese woman who I guess I befriended. I could hear her say, Mikoto, not using my name for obvious reasons, is taken and these kids are under our protection, in Japanese. I just quietly walked out of that room. I went back to that room again today. As of submitting the story, and no signs of the ghost. I looked for him, nothing. Now either I was seeing things because I was watching Lulu's videos, or I need a vacation. I don't know why I have so many ghosty encounters. But this encounter felt weird because I knew what I was seeing. Okay, this one is terrifying. I'm not gonna lie. Going into the classroom and then suddenly kid ghost is scary. Guess it's time to finally share another ancient tale. Wait, have we read this one before? No, we haven't read the boat story yet. I don't think so. Ugh. Staring into the void, the mind obliviously lost in thoughts or memories, the ancient being let out a long sigh. There was sadness in that sigh, and no will to hide that feeling. Kuromiya, not like this. Are you sure you want to listen to that foolish story again? It's not a fairy tale, it's not even funny. Please bear with me. One last time, I want to pass the story on. I don't want it to wither away. Time might be a tough enemy for creatures of flesh and bones, but stories? Stories can live forever. Very well, let's see it, lamb chops, said the ancient creature, finally convinced to tell his story one last time, despite everything. It was spring on the verge of the redacted season. We were aboard a little ship in an oceanographic mission, sampling water as well as seabed, with some little extras here and there. It was the 9th day of sailing. A storm caught us and made us dance a little too much. We weren't able to work properly, even in the lab. Waves were too high. And so, the next day, we had to recover the lost time. We ended making the last sampling at about 1 a.m., and me and a couple of colleagues had to remain on the bridge to filter the seabed sand to search for creatures. All just under a single pretty shy spotlight. At some point, I've begun to sense something. A sound, and a little reflection. At the margin of my field of view. A rock in the open sea? Weird, I wasn't able to see it properly. The spotlight was pointing the seabed sample on the bridge. I just remember this rock being particularly lucid. At the point that even with so little light, I was almost able to see my reflection. Except that it wasn't mine. In unreasonable panic, I turned my head fast enough to hurt my neck just to see that there was nothing behind me. I quickly faced the lucid rock again, and had just enough time to notice that it seemed even bigger than the ship itself, because the thing abruptly moved to the other side. There's nothing that I'm aware of that is able to move like that, and without making a single noise outside the one produced by the ripples splashing on the surface. I run to face again that weird rock thing, but as soon as I reached the middle of the bridge, a loud sound suddenly invested us, coming from that thing. I'm not easy to scare, but I swear I've never been so terrified in my whole life. That sound, it was like a scream, but made of rocks and metals, and yet seemed alive. I followed on the ground, and after a blinding flash of light, the scream was gone. And so was that lucid rock. I don't know what it was. I just know that even listening to several thousands of sound samples, I yet have to find a single sound that even can be defined as close to the one I've heard that night. Cryptids? Oh, wait, this one's interesting. This post is by Vault. I know Vault is in the Burgerlands at the moment. From Vault, so we can start with cryptids. Fallout 76 actually mentions a plethora of cryptids, and yet still falls short of the number of them found in Appalachia. We talked about this ages ago on Shio. I still haven't watched a video on it. Bigfoot is one of the North American cryptids found there. No further explanation in its description. Supposedly predates European settlers. There's also Little People mythical folk referred to by Cherokee natives, supposedly glow with blue lights and appear as long-haired children. They're known as Yungitsunsteel? Is that how you say it? Not sure if they are the ones the same with the moon eye people who are described as nocturnal beings with big glowing eyes. Cats when the wind. To do the Snallygaster. What a funny name. Dates back to the 1700s and getting the name from the Schnellgeist? Schnellgeist. Fascos from immigrants to the area. That's German. It is a winged beast that's described as part bird and part reptile. A dragon-like hybrid. Known for swooping down and snatching livestock and people alike. I've read 5 and 7-point stars displayed on buildings. Keep it at bay. There's many accounts of the creature, even one from the 1930s where they were able to drown one in a vat of alcohol. He went to party. I don't really know a lot about cryptids. I think the only cryptid-related thing we've done on Steam, oh, there I am, is the Cryptid Smash or Pass tier list. Years and years ago. Oh, why we got even more? This one is from Xandra. So I'm not the best at storytelling, but first off, let me state how fun living in the Pine Barrens in the south. New Jersey's cryptid, the Jersey Devil aside. There's a bunch of abandoned cemeteries in the middle of the woods, ghost towns. One experience I have is a place called the Badstow Cemetery, part of the Badstow Village, an old ghost town from the colonial times that was used as an iron mill. Every time somebody says mill, I think of windmills, and I'm like, how do they make iron the same way they make flour? Probably not at all the same. Now, one time when we were driving there at 2 in the morning, why? We had visible ghost orbs shoot through the forest. Thinking this would be a sign we would have to go have a good ghost hunting night. Kept driving, and when we were at the cemetery, a little away from the old church, the grounds, we saw the church lights flickering on and off, and many shadows moving. I think one darted towards us, so we got spooked, ran away for the car, which wasn't out on any dirt, but when my friend went to drive the car, it wouldn't move. Not till they put the car in reverse, where a bump was felt, only nothing behind us. I was for a second like, did you run over a ghost? Then we could drive forward. It wasn't until we were home, the top of the car had what looked like to be 3 claw marks on it. There was another to the same place, but that was real people worrying a woman who was lost in a cornfield. Oh my god. Wait, that's so scary. What? He asked if we saw her saying she got drunk at a party and broke her leg. We kind of lied and pointed him in the opposite direction of her just in case and called the cops and got the heck out of there. Not sure what came of that though. You didn't stay with her? That's so scary. What the hell? Okay, this one is by Tez. I've been watching the video last. For some context, the woman in the video is an ex-janitor of the building who was known for being rude and mean to her coworkers for apparently no reason. She would even dump chloride powder on their lockers. Bro. One night around 10 p.m. she was on the -1 floor, so basement, doing some cleaning before clocking out when all of a sudden the door next to her, as seen in the video, opens and closes violently. Take note that these doors weigh a lot. They even have an hydraulic arm for the door to avoid it hitting the frame. And there is no wind running on that area since it is underground. Another thing to consider as I go over there almost every day since the gym is in that area. And I always feel a chill on my spine. But I grew up in a very spiritual house and I'm used to those feelings. What? Wait, I want to hear more stories. When asking about the supposed ghost, the butler told me that during the construction of the building, someone was taking during work hours and unable to keep his balance proper. He fell to his death and now he haunts the hallways to the administrative areas of the building. Another instance is the ghost of this person scaring someone who was stealing from the administration office supplements. The terrible part is that it's a one-way hallway. One entrance and one exit, and the spirit of this person waited for the thief to reach the end to let out a really chilling wail. Needless to say, he didn't come back. So I'm guessing the security cam footage is of cleaner and that door. Are you guys ready for the spooky video? We've never gotten a first-hand spooky video submissions before. Ever. So this is exciting. This video has no sound, so you're not missing anything. This is security camera footage. Normally security cameras don't record sound. And someone's Amazon package, it looks like. Let's do this. Are you guys excited? Holy shit. There she goes. Oh. Oh, the door opened. Did you see it? Did you see it? Oh, she's calling the service lift? Seeing if there is someone at the door waiting for it. And she leaves, and the door opens again. Oh. Opening further. There's no shadow or anything behind it. Whatsoever. I think I saw something behind it. Okay, what I'm really more afraid of is... watch the reflection here. There's a bit where it looks like... There! Did you see it? Did you see it? It moves directly underneath her. It's not her arm or anything. Her arm isn't moving, is it? What was that? I just said go back to the beginning. I do want to see if there's more. So she closes this door. Oh, it looks like there's a head or something, but... So this is our own footage, not a YouTube video. We can actually scrub it properly.
Did you see it? Did you
see it? There was something big, right? That's way bigger. Look at the regular cleaner's height, and then look at the whatever the heck is behind there. What is behind that door, Tez? Chat was in the way. Oh, door. Oh, chat was in the way of the reflection. Oh wait, I'll go and hide you guys for a sec so we can show it. Like someone peeking out, but it's way too big. Like maybe a hooded creature. It's not a human. Look at how tall it would have to be to hunch over like that, right? If that's the hands and this is the head. It would be like this long, so upright taller than the door. Scary. Absolutely terrifying. Wait, let me quickly hide chat so I can show you guys what I mean in the reflection. Okay. Watch the reflection. What's the bottom part of the door? Watch around here. Hand reflection from when she did the... No, she moves her hand! Never mind. It looked like it was something moving out of there. The door immediately opening again when she's gone, that was scary. Strange shape for sure. See, this time it opens, it's lower. You can only see... Turn chat back on. You can only see... something at the very bottom here.
Redacted.
You see it? It's like a teeny tiny hand. Just around the door handle. What is that? And then it moves away.
If Mikoto sees it, then it's true. I slept with my light on cause of you.
Oh no. Strange shape for sure behind the door. Could be that pressure shifts from the woman entering and the elevator leaving could be causing the door to open. They did say that this was a really heavy door. So... I don't know. This is kind of scary. My wife that was lost. Tiny head. Tiny head, tiny hand. But this is too short. When you see her standing next to the door, a person this short could not open a door this heavy. Look at it. It would have to be like, what, a 2-year-old? Oh, hand. Is that my wife that was like... No, not like this. This is interesting and terrifying. I 100% believe that this is something. But what, though? Then you can't see anything there. Oh, yeah, the first time it opens is really scary. It looks like some huge creature peeking in. And then it got smaller. What do you guys think? So what do you think of this one? Because that's terrifying.